Thrips are going to turn up basically every year, but we don't know how abundant they're going to be in a given year, and therefore how much risk they are to the crop. So there's two main approaches to managing it. One is you can elect to do nothing and then sample the crop for thrips damage, apply the thresholds, and then use a spray to actually control them. The other approach is preemptive, where you actually go in and use treated seed or in-furrow granular insecticide. An important consideration with the preemptive approach is to think about consequences for selecting resistance in other pests. So it's important to refer to the resistance management strategy if you're going to spray the crop after you've used one of those treatments. The advantage of the preemptive approach is it's more selective and will help to keep some of the other beneficial species there, which will then help to control other pests in the crop as well. It's important to sample your seedling crops, both to monitor for thrips numbers and damage, but also to look for other pests that could be there that might influence your control strategies. The best way to sample is to pull the young seedlings out and have a good look at them. You'll need a hand lens, so you're looking into the terminal to see if you can see thrips larvae or adults, and you're looking at the leaves for the amount of damage you can see. The basic threshold is 10 thrips per plant and significant leaf damage. If the leaf is less than about 1 centimetre long, then you've got too much damage. Normally by the time the plants have got about 6 to 8 true leaves, the thrips populations will tend to drop off in abundance. You get very rapid compensation and regrowth of the crop. But if you saw damage continuing on past about 6 or 8 leaves, and there were significant numbers of thrips there, you probably would need to consider some strategy to manage that. Quite a bit of research has been done recently looking at where thrips are coming from. And it seems that mostly they use a range of flowering weeds that are found around cotton farms. They'll also use other crops such as wheat and canola. When those weeds die off in relation to when cotton is emerging is very important. If it stays wet and the weeds die off quite late, often the crop's up and big enough that it won't get damaged from the thrips. If, however, the weeds die off around the time cotton's emerging, and if it's dry and cotton is the only thing that's really there to feed on, then you actually get quite high levels of damage. So if you decide that you are going to spray the crop to manage the thrips population, it's important to be quite careful about what spray option you use, because the spray options all have different amounts of impact on beneficial species. If you choose something that knocks the thrips down and knocks all other beneficials down as well, then you do increase the risk from secondary pests like mites, aphids, and potentially down the track whitefly.